afternoon, everybody. Raf from technicantica.com. How are you all doing? Monday. Um, this title of this video, Emanuele Moris, and the first time I came across the Italian traditional or traditional old school of singing. Now, I don't know, but there have been many teachers I perhaps have not mentioned before, and I'm not gonna go on today into saying who these people are. Today I want to focus on just one particular teacher, maestro, I had back in the day at the Guildhall School of Music and Trauma. That's the funny name we used to, call it back in the day. So, who is actually Emanuele Moris? Well, Emanuele Moris is the Italian repertoire coach, both at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and Covent Garden. He's the Italian coach at Covent Garden. He was born in Imperia, Italy in 1938 and studied flute and singing at the Torino Conservatoire. And his teachers were, flute was Arturo Danesin, and singing with Miss Morano. Now, I don't really know much about this sort of lineage, but I can tell you one thing. And another day, if you want, I can sort of explain a bit or elaborate a bit more the biography of Emanuele. An amazing maestro, and an amazing coach, and an amazing vocal coach. And here comes the surprise. When I was at the Guildhall, I studied under Adrian Thompson, who is also an amazing teacher and an amazing person, and eventually under Sir McCulloch, who is also wonderful. I mean, honestly, I can't complain about the teachers I've studied with. They were all wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful singers, wonderful teachers. However, at some point during my studies, Emanuele, who was, as I said, my Italian repertoire coach, took me aside and said, you know what, why don't you come for private lessons at my place in London? And I said, yeah, why not? I mean, I was deep into the Italian repertoire, and I wanted to work this style as much as I could, because that was the direction I thought I was going to take, and eventually I took. So I believe it was, I don't know, I don't know exactly when, but it was early days. So that has been like, I don't know, year 2000 maybe, yeah. I went to Emanuele's place in London, and all of a sudden, he sat, in front of the piano, and instead of starting straight away with, Italian repertoire, I don't know, at the time I was singing Bellini, Donizetti, some Rossini, but what Emanuele wanted to do was to actually help me with my voice. So now, after so many years, and looking back, I analyzed what Emanuele was trying to teach me, or what he taught me, and now I know what it is. And back in the day, I didn't know what it was. So Emanuele would use this very known scale, right? Okay, and the funny thing is that at the time, my teachings, right, were more like very vertical, very based on the U vowel, which great, and slightly with that sort of forward motion. And my voice, well, was a young, fresh voice, but very much sort of musky in a way, not musky as in the smell, but it was like very much forward. And all of a sudden, Emanuele wanted me to shoot the voice backwards, and with a very heavy, I hope he doesn't get annoyed if he sees that, but with a very heavy Italian accent, says, "I know you must drive the voice back, or I don't know, back into the pharynx, into the this area here." And he would describe this as if the sound was starting from your chin and then travel backwards, how can I say it, through the jawline and then expand in the back. I honestly did not know what it was at that time, and obviously I don't even remember what sound I produced. I don't think I have any recordings of that, but basically it would be something like that. La. So what Emanuele was doing is actually opening the pharynx. So he was teaching me what later on McRae would pass on to me. Okay, now the funny thing is that not only my middle voice grew, singing that ah, and basically directing it towards the back, and thus opening the pharynx. As I repeat, my middle voice grew, but all of a sudden I found myself singing the top of my voice easier and larger than ever. So we never talked about cover. We never talked about appoggio or anything like that. I believe at some point he said something about giro, but the giro was not made the way I conceived, like forwards and this kind of movement, but going backwards. So he insisted on bere la voce, inhalare la voce, and all of a sudden, you would go up to a G, very open, but the voice would cover. La! And immediately the voice just would like whoop, and I was like in awe. I was like, what is that? That is the old school of a singing, right? And I was amazed. What really freaked me out is that eventually, just going up the scale, and he just telling me, just go, don't stop, don't think, just the only thing you must think in a way is just the voice is shooting back this way. And we basically we jumped up and we went here. Yeah, so all of a sudden I was here. La! And I was like, what the hell is that? And that was my high C. For somebody that was constantly struggling for those notes, this was a huge discovery. And we continued climbing. It's like, and I just found that by keeping it open, totally open, and directing the voice back, I could sing a D flat or C sharp, whatever you want to call it. And honestly, the other way around, I could not reach a proper B natural. So nowadays, I tell my students to direct the voice from the chin to the back of their throats, basically to the pharynx, especially on their middle upper range, and the results are quite solid. Both men and women, both baritone, tenors, basses, both mezzos, sopranos, and the whole shebang. It's just this thing, and trust me, it's a wonderful tool that Emanuele, back in the day when I knew nothing about the affondo technique, melocchi, or anything as such, he passed it on to me, and I did not understand until recently when I went through my journals and I found that jewel. And now my students, they benefit from the wonderful teachings of Emanuele Moris. Okay, so that's all for today. So thank you, Emanuele. If you ever watch this, I'm very, very thankful, very grateful. If you like the video, thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't, just don't watch it, okay? Be well. You need anything, you know where to find me. Bye.